Hi everyone, I'm JD from Low Band Journals and I'm here to update you with how I went with transferring a scrapbook into a folder. So I talked about in that previous video how scrapbooks were just too big and bulky and heavy for me. I only ever did 3. One of them was so big that I had to split it up into 2. So these are my 3 scrapbooks, or 4 if you count the one split into 2. And I transferred this one. It's all empty now. I can get rid of this. I transferred it into here. And I'm actually really happy with the result. I'll give you a bit of a flip through. And then these are the next 3 that I want to transfer into the folders. So I got these from Kmart, but you can get, plastic folders in all different styles, colors. I like these ones because they're clear. You can put something in the front. And this one actually has 40 pages. So I didn't need 40 pages for this one. I actually want to transfer, I've already got one here with only 20 pages and I limited myself to just 20 pages in here. So I will probably take all this out. Once I've finished using this, I'm using this for the Creative Soul journal course that I'm running this year. So all my bits and pieces are kept in these plastic folders, pockets to put into this journal. So once I finish with that, I will transfer this into this folder where there's only 20 pages, so that will be very nice for that. And then I'll have a spare one of these ready for my next folder or next scrapbook. So let's give a flip through of this one. I just pegged some pages, quite a lot of pages closed where there were photos of other people, but here's my cover page. And basically my priority wasn't for it to look beautiful. My priority was just to get the information and the photos onto the pages. And the reason why I chose this method was because I could double page the pockets, if that makes sense. I could put something on this side and something on the other side. So if in the future I ever wanted to use that photo or cut out that piece of ephemera, I can do that, because I'm not going to cut through whatever is stuck on the other side of that piece of paper, because they're separate. They're all single-sided sheets in these pockets, and I think that works really well. So here's the pamphlet. So basically what I'm recording here is a camp that I went on in 2004. So this was quite a long time ago, at my old youth group that I used to attend when I was a youth. So that was the pamphlet for the camp. And again, my priority was not to make it look beautiful. It's just to cut these out and get them on the page. And I had a lot of yellow paper left over, so I just used yellow paper in the background. And I don't know, yellow is my least favorite color. So again, it wasn't about making it beautiful. It's just to get the information down. So anytime I transferred something, I did try to keep it as preserved as possible from the scrapbook. So you can see I didn't cut out each individual thing here. But I did attach it to some paper here, which maybe I didn't even need to do. I could have maybe just slipped in some paper behind there and slipped that in over the top. I probably didn't need to even glue it down on top of the yellow paper. But, it sits right now. It's all good. So basically for this camp, it was one of my first youth camps that I ever went on. And I, afterwards, when I got home, typed it all up, journaled the whole camp and typed up everything that happened on the camp. And I wrote it in the third person as if it was a story. I took photos the whole time I was there, and I wrote out the sermon notes that I took while I was there. And yeah, this was one of my favorite challenges. There were different challenges. It was like a survivor camp, and it was really, really well done. Actually, as I was documenting this, transferring it over, I was remembering, like, wow, that was a really good camp. Like, those leaders who ran it put in a lot of effort. There were so many different challenges. We had bandanas for the different tribes where we were in, and there was a paintball challenge. There was a rafting challenge where we had to stand in the middle of this freezing cold lake and be rescued by a raft that we handmade ourselves, and our one just fell apart instantly. It was hilarious, but so fun. And amazingly, my tribe that I was part of, we won the survivor camp, which was so amazing. We would have like team meetings about strategy, and we made alliances with other tribes, and it all worked out well, and we won. And our prize was we got beanies. How cool is that prize too, by the way? So the leaders had bought 8 different beanies, all different colors, all different styles, and so we all got to choose a beanie to wear. So that was very fun. The very last, I won't show it, but the very last page in this folder, now it's a folder, not a scrapbook, has a photo of our team wearing our beanies. So it's all recorded here, like the strategies that we made and the alliances that we made, and all recording the different challenges that we did, and as well as, you know, what we did on the camp with the different services and everything, and how it impacted my journey with God, and how I got to know God deeper through this camp and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it was it was a pretty amazing camp, and I have it now documented in something that is so much more manageable to flip through and look through, and so much better to store on my shelf. So I'm looking forward to maybe doing the same thing with these. The difference with these scrapbooks is that I did a lot more embellishing, so there's a lot more flowers and metal pieces and charms and shells that I have stuck onto the pages. So it's very 3D, so I'm not sure how it's going to cope in this, because what I did realize is this is still quite heavy. It's almost just as heavy as the scrapbook, but I don't mind. It's still at least smaller and easier to turn. But if I was to do the 40 pages with the double scrapbook, that could get way too chunky for this folder. But I don't know, I'm going to try my best to cut it all up and transfer it, because as much as I love what I did here, I really put together these pages in a creative way. This one wasn't so much about creativity, it was just about getting the story and the photos down. This one, it was more about, let's make the pages beautiful, and mixing and matching colors, and I really went to town. I can't show you because there's a lot of photos of other people in these folders, scrapbooks, but yeah, I was flipping through them earlier, and I was like, I don't know if I can cut those up, but I think I still want to make myself cut them up, because I just don't ever want to look at them because they're too big, and they're so I think I do want to make the effort to transfer them. It did take quite a bit of effort. It took 2 days, not the whole day, like 2 nights I spent, and it was really lovely. It's quite therapeutic. 2 nights spent doing this, and yeah, I don't know, I think it's going to be a lot of a bigger effort to transfer these ones over, because I think I'm going to want to preserve a lot more, but I'll see how I go. My priority, I'm going to keep telling myself, is not the beauty. My priority is not for it to look good. My priority is just to get it in something practical and get the memories down. And what the hardest part of it is being able to have the pages be transferred over as intact as possible, so that saves me some work. But also the challenge though is this is smaller, obviously. So with the square pages, I had to do some weird funky cutting, like jagged cutting if there's photos stuff here. And then you've got this little strip here, and you're like, what do I do with that? And that did mean I had to be creative in how to match the pages around. So the layout changed a little bit when I did this. I didn't have the exact same layout because I had to spread them over further pages, and I did get rid of some photos that weren't speaking to me anymore. I did get rid of some ephemera that wasn't speaking to me anymore, to make it all fit within the 20 pages. So I'm assuming that's the same what I'm going to have to do with these to get it to the smaller size. I will be selective in which photos I keep, which is fine actually. It helps me to streamline things, declutter, and really shows me which ones I like and which ones don't speak to me anymore, don't need them. But yeah, we'll see how we go, and I will try to update you with what I do, and give you as much of a flip through as possible without showing people's faces. But yeah, I'm really happy with the result. And let me know if you give it a try yourself. And I've heard from people sharing in that previous video comments about their own similar feelings towards scrapbooks. They're too big, they're too heavy, and your own way of transferring them over. So I'm so glad that I'm not the only one transferring them, and maybe more people are going to transfer them now, because yeah, scrapbooks, used to love it, but now can't stand how big they are. So thank you so much for watching. Hope this was a helpful video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys. A big special thank you to my beautiful patrons who are supporting me in May. I could not do this without you, so thank you so much for believing in what I do and for all your amazing support and encouragement and kindness. I so appreciate it. If you'd like to become a patron, that's where you get access to all my extra videos, behind the scenes looks, videos of my face where I chat to you, and the journal making series from start to finish each month. If you're a Ruby patron or higher, you also get access to every digital kit in my Etsy and new ones each month. And some of the higher tiers, you get mail sent to you, perhaps a journal or a mystery pack or a paper pack or ephemera pack or a printable pack. So if any of that interests you, feel free to check out my Patreon. The link is down below. If you'd like to become a member as well, a YouTube member, you can do that for $1 a month, and that just supports my channel.